Ahsoka Episode 6 is here, and with the title like Far, Far Away, you'd assume that we'd be traveling far, far away, and we did. This episode brought the same quality that we've gotten this entire time, and all I have to say is that this show just does not stop delivering. So let's talk about it. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Jones Vibes. Hit the like button to show some support for the channel, and let's dive in. So right off the top, I just want to ask, what did you guys think about this episode? I think that going into it, you could clearly kind of expect that this episode was largely just going to be a setup episode for the next two. We're heading into the end game now. We only have 2 more episodes left, and we're just now getting into this distant galaxy, this new galaxy, so there was a lot of explaining to do. And that's pretty much what it was, but honestly, like, we were given so much backstory and lore and information that I have to go back in and watch it again because it's insane. I've been so eager this entire week just to know what this other galaxy looks and feels like. And the anticipation of getting there honestly felt like being stuck in the mouth of a Purgle, you know what I mean? But we now have arrived on Peridia. And Morgan goes on to say that it's the ancient homeworld of her ancestors, the Dothmiri. And this is sick because once they land, they immediately cut to the Great Mother, or Great Mothers. There's 3 of them. But the biggest thing is, guys, we now have witches in live action. Like, Morgan has been one thing, you know, like she's demonstrated a little bit of magic, but seeing these ladies in this costume, this red gown and the red hood, it was just awesome. And you go straight from that, and it gets even crazier from there. We get THRAWN. He's here, and his entrance was incredible, showing up on this massive reconstructed star cruiser. I just can't even believe how on point they got this, you know, like, it's so cool to have Lars Mikkelsen playing this, because obviously the voice matches, but it was everything else to me. It was the stature, it was the music, just the essence of this character in live action is something to behold. It's something to fear. And my question is, after seeing him and kind of getting to know and look at this space that he's occupying, are the rumors about his army being like an army of undead stormtroopers, are those rumors true? Because that's what it seemed like to me. Their armor was all warped and pieced back together with mixtures of gold and white. It was very similar to the kintsugi practice that put Kylo Ren's helmet back together in Rise of Skywalker. But I just can't even believe it. Like, being on this new planet, we now have THRAWN in live action. He has this huge army. You can just picture where the future is going now with Star Wars, and this is just so exciting, guys. He also had a captain of his guard, like his right-hand man, very similar to like a Phasma look, and I think his name was Enoch. And his helmet had such a distinct design. It kind of reminded me of Gladiator in a way. There's a Gladiator in that movie that has a helmet kind of like that. But really, after seeing THRAWN, I just want to know everything right now. Like, I want to see the entire time. I think it's been 15 years. I want to know what happens. But I also really enjoyed the time spent with Baylan and Shin. We really are starting to be able to understand Baylan's true intentions. He's looking for a power that will break the cycle of endless war. He tells Shin that there's a power that's calling to him and asks her if she can hear it and if she can see it. And those 2 characters specifically are just heading in a very curious direction. We're starting to get more information about Baylan's past. We're starting to find out more about him, but I'm still a little confused. I'm not really sure what it all means. His intentions now seem a little bit less evil than I was thinking, but on the flip side, what is this power that he's talking about? I mean, maybe it is super evil. For some reason, I'm getting the feeling that he's talking about time. I don't think Star Wars is going to go in the direction of like altering time or something like that, but that could be something that he's at least after, and maybe he'll figure out that that's just like not possible and it's going to kind of blow up in his face. I have no idea. Please let me know your thoughts on Baylan, because he remains, to me at least, this show's most interesting character for sure. But then on the Sabine side of things, I just want to stop and say, and this is just an observation, but the exploration of Peridia sequence in the middle of this episode was the closest thing that I've seen to the beginning of A New Hope in so long with Star Wars, like maybe ever. It felt like that. It felt like R2 and 3PO wandering around the desert. You know, when she meets that little Noti creature, turtle thing, that thing was just such a Star Wars addition. It was so similar to like a Jawa and just that fun and goofy vibe. It was nice to see in this show. I also loved her interactions with that howler creature. It was very doggish, and I don't know, it was just a lot of fun. I didn't expect for the middle middle section of this episode to capture me as much as it did, because I kind of knew what was coming. I knew that she'd be going out to look for Ezra, and maybe towards the end of this episode, she'd find Ezra, but all of it was so entertaining. There wasn't really like a lull. And then she does find Ezra Bridger. She found Ezra. The wait is over. And I couldn't believe what I was watching. Truly, I couldn't. He's played by Iman Esfandi, and he seems pretty perfect, man. My only hang up the first time that I watched it was that it just wasn't quite as emotional as maybe I was expecting. But then upon going back and watching it again, there is a subtlety to how they play this scene that's very spot on to their characters. And it's just so crazy. It's so crazy that Ezra Bridger is back, guys. Like, I don't know, that ending scene of Rebels just leaves you hanging, and now it's all just come full circle. Ezra is back, and Shin and Baylan are on the way. They're looking for him, and THRAWN has now been added into the mix, and Ahsoka is coming. So yeah, just my general thoughts. I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was great. I liked how Ahsoka was just in the very beginning, and then it kind of left her, and we got all this explanation as to what's been happening inside this galaxy. We kind of got a peek behind the curtain, and now moving into the last 2 episodes, like, who knows what's gonna happen, but you know, we've already seen some insane things out of this show, and I'd imagine the last 2 episodes are gonna be absolutely action-packed, so very exciting. But yeah, that about wraps this one up, and I will turn it over to you guys. Please let me know all of your thoughts about Ahsoka Episode 6 down in the comments. I'd really love to hear what you guys thought about it, and also what you think is going to happen in the next 2 episodes to finish out this season. But then also, and as always, please hit the like button for me and show some support to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. It means more than you know. You can also follow me on X at JonesVibesOnly, and remember to keep up the good vibes, guys. But THRAWN and Ezra are back, and where do we go from here? I guess we'll see.